Look how good our sports betting expert Todd Furman's been looking. This guy is dynamite, like James Bond here. He's excited because we have a loaded NFL slate this weekend. 4 games of teams with 3 losses or fewer facing off. So you got Dolphins, Chiefs in Frankfurt. You got Seahawks, Ravens. You got Cowboys, Eagles, that big NFC East battle. And then the Sunday nighter between the Bengals and Bills, Todd. Is there a side or a total from those games that stands out as something that might give you a little bit of value?
I mean, look, Jay, I've been depriving your entire audience of a Super Bowl pick since the start of the season. So I feel like this is my opportunity in early November to flip the page, bury the hatchet, and at least offer up a lean on the quartet of big games. So we'll start with the one in Frankfurt that you mentioned. What better place for 2 of the teams with the shortest odds in the AFC to do battle than about 17,000 miles away from where either of them call home? But I think when you look at the international series, this will be only the 4th time that we've seen a total 50 or higher, assuming that number holds. The previous 3 games have all come in under the total by an average of 11.5 points per game. I know it's all about high-flying offenses, but I think both of these stop units are being undersold. I lean under in the early morning kickoff. Now, when we look at Baltimore, this is an expensive price to pay, but it's warranted. This is a Ravens defense right now that's rounding into form. You're seeing Lamar Jackson continuing to grasp the offensive concepts of Todd Monken. The ground game's on track. He's been extremely accurate. He's got a couple talented weapons in Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. Major step up in class for the Seahawks. I think the Ravens win and cover in this spot. As far as the Cowboys, look, last time we saw them on a big stage, they laid an egg against the 49ers. This is where Dak gets right, though. I think that Eagles secondary is a major issue. CeeDee Lamb and Dak have a big day. Cowboys go on the road and win that game outright. And if you're looking for points and fantasy implications, the Sunday night game is for you. I think both these offenses get off to a quick start. I like that game over the total in the first half, but I wouldn't go past the number of 24.
Actual gambling advice from my friend Todd Furman. I love that. And my other friend Luke Willson said last week that he wouldn't be surprised, Todd, if the Detroit Lions ride that easy schedule to the top seed in the NFC. Currently, they're plus 460 to get there, according to FanDuel. You're going to throw down some change on that bet.
Look, I think he's onto something there. When you look at the schedule that the Cowboys and Eagles will have to face over the next 3 to 4 weeks, those teams are going to beat each other up. You look at the landscape in the NFC West, and the bye couldn't have come at a better time for the 49ers to get healthy, heal up. But we talked about their depth before the season started, Jay, and if they deal with injuries at key positions, they're not built to try and go out there and run the gauntlet that is the 17-week regular season. And I think the Seahawks offense is in store for a little bit of regression. So I'm actually fully on board with Luke's pick of taking a slight long shot there of Detroit, given the favorable schedule they have going forward. And I love the trade deadline acquisition to beef up that receiving room, bringing in Donovan Peoples-Jones from Cleveland.
Todd, this one might be a little out there, but we're always looking for a retirement plan, so hear me out. Okay, here we go. Achane. He's only played 4 games this year. He's got a total of 38 rushing attempts. But he's sitting top 10 in rushing yards on the season. Currently, he's 50-1 at FanDuel to lead the league in rushing. Does he actually have a shot?
I mean, look, I'm all about a long shot bet from time to time, Jay, but I'm not sure how durable that knee is going to be. And unfortunately for the talented rookie out of Texas A&M, he doesn't get to play the Denver Broncos 17 times a season where he was able to accumulate all those gaudy stats. So it's a great story if a guy could go out there, lead the league in rushing and play 8 or 9 games, given his big play potential. But 50-1, not nearly generous enough from our friends at FanDuel to get me to the window with an investment.
Post NFL, you mentioned it. You haven't given us a Super Bowl pick yet. You've been teasing us for weeks now. We're into week 9. But what about after the trade deadline? The trade deadline was this week. Todd, did that change anything for you? Did it lock something down?
I mean, I liked what Philadelphia did, adding to that defensive backfield with Kevin Byard, but I'm concerned about Jalen Hurts' knee. The 49ers appear flawed right now. I'm not willing to buy in on them. And when you look at the AFC, it is officially a muddled mess between the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Ravens. Jay, only a fool would be picking a Super Bowl champion going into week 9. So I know I play the part quite well, but I ain't picking a Super Bowl champion for you this week.
All right. Well, that's okay, because that's just another great reason to bring you back next week for another edition of Todd's odds. Thanks for this week, buddy. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Always a pleasure. Enjoy the big games.